The star players are the mother, her sister, mother's husband, their father, his girlfriend and sibling, B, and their friend C. Cool, because he's awesome. This particular story was just relayed to me by other family. So back in September, when I was going through a lot, I was finally back in contact with my father. He and I are strained beforehand for reasons, but reconciled as I'm getting married soon. I was in contact with him frequently for a week, as he was helping me through a safety crisis that led to me moving across country. The last time I talked to him was my second day of travel, when he said he was sick and would not be able to talk to me. The day I reached my destination, C called me and said my father was in the hospital but should be fine. Silence for 2 weeks. C calls and explains it's the virus, and it's not looking good. Father passed not long after. Now this is my family. They know they could at least email me. My mother and her husband have been blocked for years, but sister and I text every once in a while. Do they contact me? No. C does. All the while, mother has father's sister, who does not handle grief well, tell everyone else because she can't be bothered and won't talk to anyone. B ends up figuring out the service arrangements. Yet to happen will happen this summer, and all goes radio silent. Until tonight. Ready for entitlement? Buckle your jaw in so it won't hurt from dropping. Now, my father and his girlfriend had been pretty serious, going so far as to live together. Cool. The girlfriend was supposed to keep the house. It wasn't in the will, which, by the way, was apparently read in October, which most didn't know until now. So what do mother and sister do? Something they love doing, take control and get money. If the girlfriend wants the house, she can lease it. Girlfriend refuses and gets kicked out right before Christmas. Now, I wish I could say I was surprised. Sadly, I know these people too well. I mean, sister wants my unused college fund for her daughters to go to private school. She does not work. Mother, where to begin? Lying on death benefits to my face. Not telling my mother where I was for a year. All other stories for other days. This is what they do, always. They sit in houses bought at least in part by daddy's money. They're over 40, people, I promise. Anyways, C and B are furious. They, alongside other family members, cannot believe they'd kick G out like that. So now for the best part, i.e. the part that made me decide I'm washing my hands of them, happily by disowning them. Mother straight out changes her freaking phone number to avoid them. She doesn't even have the spine to face her own actions. Yet another moment of oh my audacity with this woman. This is all just the latest string of stories with these people. Mother's husband is your typical holier-than-thou Christian who thinks he is royalty because of a seminary degree. Mother is a mini Karen who uses people as objects. Sister is, I don't even know. I have 10 years of stories of them. 2. I, 20 and female, work at a small store. I'm an immigrant, and so are the people who work at the store next door. It's a mother and son team. The son, who I'm going to call Chad, is very annoying and clearly obnoxious sometimes. I want to believe that he doesn't realize how far he takes things, but he is fucking 26 and should know better. It all started fairly innocent. I befriended his mom, Sharon, and slowly he introduced himself and we started talking one day that Sharon and her husband offered me a ride to the nearest subway station that is like half an hour away from my job. I noticed how immature Chad was, but nothing to worry about, right? Wrong. He started to get confident and started to hit on me shamelessly. Nothing inherently bad about it, but it continued even after I told him at first kindly, and then explicitly, and then in a really nasty way that I'm not interested at all, and I am in fact taken. He didn't believe me until I picked up a video call from my fiancée at my lunch break. Chad even looked offended. As if this wasn't enough, he has the thing for trying to hug me and lightly push me. I strongly slap his hands away or shove him full force away from me, because who the fuck does he think he is? He always makes the comment of, "Oh, I know you like me. You want to kiss me so bad right now." And bitch, this shit is not high school anymore. I'm at work and we're both adults, so you should take people's boundaries seriously. But nope. It goes right above his head and he thinks those rules don't apply to him. Yesterday he started touching my face, grabbing my glasses. That is something I hate. And I have told him every single time. I left a handprint on his arm from how hard I have slapped him away from my face. He keeps pushing it. Yesterday I blew up at him. I had a customer in the store. Chad came in and started calling out to me incessantly. I responded with a clearly pissed off, "What is it, Chad?" He asked me for change. The customer told me to go and help Chad, so I went to the register and took out the change. I was going to give it to him when Chad held the $20 bill in my face and shook his hand, essentially rubbing the thing in my damn face. I smacked his hand away so hard it made a slap sound. I raised my voice at him. "Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm not a fucking stripper, so get your damn change and get the fuck out of my store." He tried to argue and I yelled, "Chad, out of my store!" He obliged. The customer left, really uncomfortable. Whenever he does this kind of thing and Sharon finds out, she stops him. She has talked to him very sternly about leaving me alone, or else I won't talk to him anymore, but he does not listen. Today I'm not accepting Sharon's offer of a car ride. It sucks because public transportation is so shit in this part of the city, and it will take me around 2.5 hours between the waiting and the actual time inside the bus to get to the subway, and then the subway ride to get home, without the actual ride, but fuck, I can't stand him anymore. And I'm one disrespectful action away from banging his head on the damn counter. Before anyone suggests, there's no point calling the police. The police around here are a damn joke, so not worth it. Banning him is not quite an option. I sent an email to my boss. He told me to slap him, so no banning is possible. Third, I'm not really asking for advice. I'll handle this the way I see fit. But still, I'm thankful for your concerns, and I see y'all seriously. I'm not in the US, so lawyers and restraining orders and all that seem quite off the table. Third world countries don't take the actions quite seriously. I got my path set. I'm gonna make him regret ever being born if he keeps pushing, and my fiancée is more than excited about giving him a few broken bones. I do not see him as dangerous. I have seen dangerous men. I was almost raped by men twice his size and managed to survive it, so I'm not worried about a chihuahua with a little man syndrome. 3. This happened a while ago. I've been working as a delivery driver for a small parts company in the RV industry. Think courier van small parts. I have a lot of stops in a day, 20 to 30, which happens when you live in the RV capital of the world. So one day I'm headed to one of my favorite plants with a hot order of screws, something they need badly. Let's call it Plant 107. I like it because the receiver is a super chill guy that takes care of me and makes sure I'm not waiting forever like other places. This particular day he has been given orders by his boss, who plays the part of the antagonist in this story. So I pull up to the plant and see across the way that he is busy and will be a while, so I do what I normally do and just wait it out. About 15 to 20 minutes go by and he's still waiting, and I'm still sitting. In times past when this has happened, I can just load everything onto a cart and walk into the office for someone to sign the paperwork, and I'll take the product to the correct location. This is when I encounter the boss. The exchange went as follows. "How's it going? Was hoping someone could sign for these so I can drop them for you. I know it's a hot order." "Who are you with?" I give him the company name. "Why are you in such a hurry?" "Not in a hurry, but I know you need these immediately, and the receiver is busy. I've been out here about 15 minutes or so." "Do you need me to go out and buy you a new watch? You've only been here 5 minutes, and I know because I pulled in around you." "Yes, you pulled in around me about 10 minutes after I got here." "Well, I'm the one in charge here, and I told the receiver to work on something else, so you're gonna have to wait. Your package is not a top priority for us. So go back to your truck." I'm choking back the urge to emotionally wreck this woman. "Sure, I can wait." So I go back to the truck and pull forward ever so slightly so my side door is even with her window, open it up and sit there staring at her. Another 20 minutes go by, and my boss calls asking why this place hasn't received their screws yet. I tell him what happened and he says, "Stay there, I'll take care of it." Another 10 minutes go by, and suddenly she comes bursting out of the office, screaming for the receiver on the radio, saying he shouldn't have left me waiting so long and that she is going to write him up for what happened. And then, in a what-the-fuck move, she just gets in her car and leaves? I look at the receiver and make sure he knows that I know that's bullshit. and will vouch for him. We make fun of her for a minute and then split ways, in a transaction that should have taken 2 to 3 minutes tops. Several days go by, and I found out an owner of the company is my boss's golf buddy, and he called him directly. Well, shit rolls downhill, and she got in huge trouble. They demoted her, cut her pay, and suspended her for 2 weeks. I still deliver there often. Every time she sees me, I give her a big smile and a wave, and all she does is drop her head. Sure, I can wait. 4. It's been almost 3 years since this happened. A little context. I have 3 grand-aunts from my mother's side, all of them Karens. The one that I'll write about is the only one I will refer to as Karen. It's important to mention that she never went to college nor worked a day in her life. She lives with the money that her ex-husband gives her. It's not alimony for the children, since both of them were adults when this happened. Ex-husband was supposed to pay for it for just a few years until she found a job, and was able to take care of herself, but the ex was worried that if he stopped giving her money, she would start asking his children. So he continued to pay her even now, 30 years approximately. The amount of money she has received was enough to buy 2 or even 3 houses, but she never did. It's also important to mention that she has 2 children, but she only speaks to one, Sam. The house where all this happened is my mother's house. I live with her, my stepdad, and my uncle. My mother has always had a weakness for my grandaunts. She lost her parents when she was still young, and my grandaunt supported her. So on to the story. One day, my mother found out Karen fought with her sister, who kicked her out of her house. She had 2 months to find a place. My grandaunt asked Sam if she could stay with us. He refused. They lived together 10 years until Sam couldn't, moved out, and went to a therapist. My mom then offered to help her find a place near to our house. Karen accepted, and for several weeks she drove her to different apartments in the city. None of them convinced her, as she kept seeing little flaws everywhere. One day, while they were having coffee, Karen asked if she could live with us. My mom told her that she didn't think that would be comfortable, since a lot of people live in our house, plus 2 pets. I forgot to mention, but Karen is also germophobic. She said she will adapt, and then my mother said she would first need to consult with me. I didn't want her to live here. I never liked her, since every time I tried to create a relationship, I ended up in trouble. I remarked this when I talked with my mom. It went in one ear and out the other. My stepdad and Sam also tried to convince her that it wasn't a good idea, and that it would probably ruin their relationship. She didn't listen. So I suggested that she should put down some ground rules. 1, she couldn't enter my room. 2, she shouldn't clean the house. 3, she should invest her money in some activities for her. Mom accepted and told Karen that she could move in. Stepdad arranged an empty room for her, where Karen decided on the decoration and brought some furniture. She even made some observations about the room, and Stepdad fixed them. 2 weeks later, she was living with us. I knew that sooner or later hell would be unleashed, and I didn't want to get involved in it, so I started to spend most of my time outside of the house, pre-pandemic, and avoid at all costs my grandaunt Karen. To my surprise, it didn't take long. About 3 weeks later, I was out with my mom, and she confessed that she was having troubles with Karen. Apparently, since Karen moved in, she had started replacing little things and buying things for the house. She'd buy new cushions, new plates, new towels, etc. This shouldn't have been a problem if it wasn't for the fact that she would throw away our belongings. Every other day, she'd just come to the house to show new stuff to my mother, presenting it as a gift, and replace what we had. Needless to say, our things worked fine, and she didn't like them, saying that they were old and dirty. None of that was true. My mother didn't want to make her feel bad, so she just accepted everything. She also started making comments about how deteriorated the house was, and how we didn't take care of our dog. Both of them were lies, and the part about the dog was hilarious. He's the most spoiled dog on the planet. She also wanted my mother to throw out some furniture so she could unpack all her stuff. These weren't the only problems. Apparently, one day my stepdad went to the bathroom to shave, but didn't find his razors. He found them in the trash, and told my mother that my grandaunt threw them there. Mom thought that they were probably in the trash by accident and didn't want to believe him, until she did it again. And this time she threw away some cooking spices that again belonged to my stepdad. He loves cooking. He told my mother, who decided to confront Karen, and she denied all while she was grinning. My mom was stunned. She had never seen this side of my grandaunt. Another day, my mom was arriving from work and found Karen in her bedroom cleaning. My mom was totally ashamed since the room was dirty, and she screamed to my grandaunt to get out of it. My grandaunt started crying, ran away, and told my stepdad that my mom tried to hit her. He obviously didn't believe her, but told my mom. My mom didn't do anything to her, but was deeply hurt. After that, one day, Karen forgot her keys and couldn't enter our house. Stepdad opened the door, and Karen cursed my mom and stepdad for stealing her keys and hiding them. Stepdad then showed her that the keys were in her place, but Karen stood firm and made some drama out of it until she locked herself into her room. A lot of other things happened. She made my uncle, 6 foot tall, cry like a little girl. She brought a new $2,000 phone and then threw it out because it didn't work. She caused trouble between my mother and I, etc. The drop that spilled the glass was something really stupid. As I said before, Karen was germophobic. So she started to clean our house with chlorine in great amounts and daily. So much that the whole house smelled like chlorine, and my mother had to wake up in the middle of the night to clean the house again and eliminate the smell. There's another reason why she needed to eliminate the smell is my health. It's not bad as long as I follow the recommendations my doctor gave my mom when I was little. One of them is that the house where I live should not use chlorine to be cleaned. My great-aunt knew this but decided to ignore it, so my mother reminded her, even though she continued to do so. My mom then throws away the chlorine. Karen was livid and started saying about how nobody wanted her in the house, that she was unwelcomed, and nobody there wanted to compromise. She moved 2 weeks later, leaving her furniture, unpacked boxes, and her monthly mail as a reminder that all of this was real. In the end, my mom understood me and Sam better and why we never liked my grandaunt. But this didn't make me happy, since she's still really hurt by this. 5. This happened a long time ago, approximately 8 or so years. Backstory. I'm a guy born and raised in the Netherlands, and I suppose a bit of a geek. My girlfriend was born and raised in Japan and moved to the Netherlands at an early age. We first met at work and got along quite well. Unfortunately, due to circumstances, we lost track of each other, but as luck would have it, we met again by accident several years later at a train station, after which we exchanged every bit of contact information we had. We started seeing each other not long after, and that turned into dating. And we kept dating until this very day. Now an easy 10 years later. We care about each other very much, it's even official. But at the same time, we also value our freedom and like the place we live in. So we ended up visiting each other pretty much every single weekend. Some of our friends still don't really understand this, but we're happy, which is all that counts for us. And in case you're wondering, it's not an issue of not being able to get along for long periods of time either. During the holiday season, the rulebook goes out the window, and we always spend pretty much the whole week with one another, either her place or mine. And that has always been an awesome time for the both of us. Getting groceries. At the time of this story, my girlfriend came to visit me, and I was really looking forward to spending time together. So I bought her some flowers and also a box of cherry bonbons. At home, as a small surprise, the chocolate stuffed with some liquor inside. We don't bother with May days like Valentine's Day and such because we both think that it's more about commerce than anything else. Besides, how much do you really love someone if you're only showing it once or twice a year? Instead, we prefer to be sporadic about it. So yeah, we were already dating for several years at that time, but I still bring flowers with me sometimes to the bus station because, why not? We hug, she likes the flowers, and puts them in her backpack. They stick out. And we get ready to go do some shopping. Because we're spending several days together, we always get some groceries together as well, and obviously split the costs. Shopping together is much more fun, at least for us. We go to a very small supermarket, which is a favorite of mine, and we start in the vegetable aisle because I wanted to get some beer. Okay. So that was a running joke of mine at the time. Most of the aisle is taken up by the vegetable section, at the other end, and on our end is also a beer section. So I asked my girlfriend if she'd like some Radler. She doesn't like the German brands I drink, but the Radler variant is one of her favorites. No answer. I look up and see her staring in the distance with a look of disgust on her face, and the next moment, she even starts swearing in Japanese. After being together for several years, I picked up a decent amount of the language, and thus I knew something was seriously wrong. You see, my girlfriend has a very specific habit. Whenever something drastic or emotional happens, then she always falls back to Japanese at first, through force of habit. The first time I told her, plain out, that she meant the world to me, that I loved her, and that I think she's the best thing that happened in my life. Exactly. She started talking back to me in Japanese, and I had no idea whatsoever what she was telling me. Fortunately, body language is also such a thing, and if you tell someone you love them and they snuggle up to you and hug you, then I think it's safe to conclude that the feeling is mutual. Luckily for me, she also quickly realizes as much. And that's also what happened here. She looks back at me and tells me, "Wait here." In English, we usually talk both Dutch and English when together. Next moment, she barges off into the aisle with a look of thunder on her face. Seriously, I've never seen her as angry as that moment, and never have since. She was livid. Yet I still didn't understand what was going on. I look into the aisle and see a group of Turkish women standing there. They wore the classic long robes and all. Surely that's not what triggered my girlfriend. Wrong. She walks up to them, grabs one of the closest by her shoulders, makes a move with her legs, and the woman falls hard onto the ground behind my girlfriend. That had to hurt, and I was completely shocked. I honestly wondered for a moment if my girlfriend had lost her mind, seriously. So the next moment, keep in mind that this all happened in seconds, one of the women now standing next to my girlfriend trying to reflect her, only to end up getting spun around and shoved hard into the shelves. She also ends up dropping to the floor. And suddenly the whole situation started making some sense to me, because I now suddenly see an older man with a walking aid, a rollator in Dutch, a cart on wheels which people use as a walking aid, who was apparently surrounded by these women. I use that term loosely. A bunch of hags is a much better description, in my opinion. Next moment, my girlfriend goes after another woman. She gets a huge shove as well and drops to the floor in front of my girlfriend, outside my vision. The next moment, my girlfriend starts pointing to someone behind the man, also outside my vision. Makes some seriously bitchy remarks in Japanese and then puts her arm around the man's shoulder and beacons him forward. He takes a few steps, and then my girlfriend places herself between him and the group of hags, and takes on a stance. Did I forget to mention that my girlfriend is familiar with martial arts? I can't really comment on it because she's very hush-hush about the whole thing, but I know that her father insisted that she and her sister follow classes for self-defense. Her sister got really into it, which also convinced my girlfriend to get deeper into things as well. Their expertise goes way beyond your average self-defense class. So the group started shouting a bit and making some ruckus, but apparently they also didn't like the idea of getting another beating. Ironic, isn't it, how some entitled people always seem to realize all too well that they were fully in the wrong once they get called out for it. Next moment, store personnel rush over, and the manager starts asking questions to the bystanders, including me. Fortunately enough, more people saw the whole incident, and it became quickly clear to the manager what had actually happened. For some bizarre reason, though, one of the hags didn't appreciate how things were going, and actually tried to take a swing at the old man. Or maybe my girlfriend, I don't know. However, as I said, my girlfriend was very protective around the old man, and countered the attack with slamming the palm of her hand into the hag's face, almost knocking her out cold. That B-word saw stars, that was obvious as much. Next moment, more personnel came over, and the women were detained and led to the back of the store. The old man was visibly panicked, and like I said, my girlfriend was very protective around him. I wouldn't be surprised if the store manager thought they knew each other. They didn't, because they were allowed to continue their shopping as long as they didn't leave the store until further notice. So my girlfriend makes a gesture to me that I'll be doing my own shopping, while she asks the old guy in Dutch if he'd like her to help him with his shopping. Yips, the guy now had personal shopping aid and a bodyguard. Of course, I was a little bummed, but at the same time, I also couldn't care less. Man, was I proud. The aftermath. I quickly finished shopping and decided to wait by the tills for my girlfriend to finish. When they got to the registers, one of the cashiers informed the manager, who then came out. The police had already detained the women, and when checking the security cameras, it became obvious that my girlfriend wasn't some wild vigilante, but had in fact defended a senior citizen from harassment by a group of women. See, as it turns out, the man was standing next to the vegetables, wondering what to get. Apparently, 1 minute was too much time for these hags, and they started to berate him. When that didn't have much effect, they decided to surround him and force him to move. Unfortunately for them, that was also when we stepped into the aisle, and unlike me, my girlfriend quickly noticed what was going on. When the hag started pushing the man and surrounding him, she saw an extremely sad look on his face and exploded with anger. It's a nasty story, because although there are security cameras, the one for that aisle looks as if it's only pointing forwards, not back. Yeah, it works both sides. As a result, there have been several incidents in the section over time, according to the manager. In the meantime, this has been drastically changed. The whole store isn't even the same anymore as it once was. Anyhow, the old man got his shopping for free, and when the manager realized that my girlfriend was just a bystander, she got a major discount for her next shopping trip. We didn't abuse it by loading our cart the next week, but we did grab some extra beer, some wine, and there were also some comfy clothes available, which my girlfriend decided to get for herself, which she still wears today. As for the old man, he still had some anxiety to deal with, so I decided to stay out of it. My girlfriend helped him to his car. She also followed up and stored the rollator, the walking aid, away from him, and he took off. We actually met up with him again several weeks later by accident, and things were going much better for him. The hags were banned from the store, and although he did have some issues with anxiety, he got through it thanks to friends and family. And it also helped him to think about the fact that there were actually random strangers out there who came to his aid. Heck, I even shook his hand that day. Yeah, being in a group gives you some power, until of course you meet the wrong kind of person. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Idiots in the Wild. Episode 50. How'd that happen? Okay, and thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. If you enjoyed the video, then I would appreciate it if you share it around. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can find links in the description that will take you towards the Hellfreezer Teespring store, Patreon, and you can also find other social medias like Twitter and so on. Okay, what day is this? This is Tuesday. Oh, my sister's birthday is Wednesday. I'll need to remember that I have to fill out a card and take it round to her. It would be the first time I forgot. I do quickly remember, usually. It's usually later that day. It's, oh crap, I forgot a birthday. And I've generally got cards. Yeah, I've generally got cards ready to go. I have to remember to do that this time. Right, I don't think there's any plans. No birthday shoutouts, no shoutouts in general for today. So right, we're all good on that. I think there's one later in the week though. So we'll take care of that when the time comes. With that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourself.